Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Ben. I'm a self-taught web developer. I went from zero to paid full stack in about 8 months of studying via the Odin project. And here I am in my outdoor office. No, I'm not working out here. I'm just getting away from the computer. I recommend you do the same every now and then just to unwind and relieve some of that stress of grinding the code, the leak code, etc. So in this video, I wanted to talk about getting into web development in 2025. So things have changed a lot in the last few years, especially after the pandemic. We're all very much aware of the mass layoffs and the challenges of getting into tech. And some of you may be wondering, I want to learn to code. Should I do it right now? Is it a good time? Maybe you just started, but you're kind of second guessing because it's getting hard and you're wondering, should you put all the effort in to continue and go through with this? We've got the threats from AI and the scares and all the sensationalism about that replacing everybody. It's been a bit of a precarious time. And even for people who have cracked the industry to get in their first job, if they have less than 5 years experience, it's hard to find work. And even people who have more than 5 years experience, I'm seeing comments online on Reddit and Discord and other channels that even for these people, it is challenging to find work. So we're definitely not in the golden era that we were in, let's say 8-10 years ago, when all you had to do was learn HTML, CSS, and some JavaScript, and chances are you would get a job. Today, the landscape is very different. And I think I started to see that when I was starting to learn in early 2022. So I studied for 8 months at the Odin project. I did the Rails path, and for my final project, I built a full stack application that was for a real client. And then I didn't go back to the Odin project because I managed to land an internship at that point. So that kind of foreshadows some of the advice that I would give you in this video. But you got that question in your head. Should you start to learn? Do you think you can get a job? For me, I don't think it's a simple yes/no answer. I think it's still very possible to go out and get a developer job right now, especially if you're brand new to learning. But it's not going to be as easy as it was. And forget all of those stories of just learn X, Y, Z, and in 4 months you'll become a developer. It's going to be much tougher than that. I think it's possible if you have the determination and you have the grit and you stand out from the crowd. And I think that third one is probably the new one, more so than ever, because you've always had to have determination and grit to learn software development. It's not easy. It's pretty challenging. But to stand out from the crowd. Now, everybody around you who's in the same boat as you, starting to learn and have a few months, a few projects under their belt, they're going to have the exact same experience, the exact same projects that you do. We see them all over. Calculator, to-do apps, social media clones. These things are all over the place. They are not enough to get you a job anymore. You need to do something different. And I think that there are 2 ways that you can really stand out and increase your chances right now. The first one is to build some cool stuff. Not even lots of things, just one really cool thing. You're going to have your smaller projects as you're learning. But once you get to that point where, you know what, I can write a full stack application, even though it may be very simple, then you need to find a real problem. And this is my opinion, but I think this is how you can stand out. You find a real problem, you find a real client, and you solve that problem for them with code, and you get them to use that application in production. And I'm not talking like the next Twitter or X or Facebook here. I'm talking about something really simple. So I've talked about this much in my other videos, but I built a very simple dog adoption website for the organization where I adopted my dog from. They had no website, and they had no way of people applying to adopt their pets or for them to collect information from the individuals applying and to organize their pets to see which were adopted and not adopted. So you can see it's a very simple CRUD application here. You need to be able to create and manage and update dogs. You need to be able to let users submit adoption applications and collect their information. I chose to do authentication, so they signed up, and then you had a user that you could attach that information to. And then you also need to have ways to just create adoptions where you link a person with a pet. Very simple stuff. It took me a couple months to build, and it was a great learning experience. I loved doing it because I really felt like what I was doing was helping somebody for a cause that I really liked, like I love dogs, right? And see what I'm saying? Find a really simple problem, something that you're interested in, and build a solution for it. Because 2 things will happen. you will, actually three things will happen. You will learn a ton. You will learn more than you ever will following tutorials or just following a lesson that somebody wrote for you to build some sample app like a calculator, for example. Because you're building that because you have to. But when you build something because you want to, you will explore the edge cases, you will think as a user, and you will build something of, I think, far higher quality that's going to be far more engaging for you to build. Second thing that will happen is you will have passion about it. When you talk about this application, if you are networking or you are in an interview, you will be able to talk about that project. When they ask questions like, so tell me about a problem that you solved, tell me about an application that you're proud of or a project that you're proud of, you will have so much fuel to put on that fire so that you will shine in that interview. And thirdly, I think you will just stand out from the crowd. I think nobody else is really building production grade applications when they're brand new. And I think that by doing that, you will separate yourself. And if you are really interested in some nuanced things, maybe some deep things like, I don't know, blockchain or something that is technical in nature as well, then you really have a chance to stand out within a niche as well. So again, build something simple, but get real users, right? Just start somewhere, find someone who has a problem and build something for them for free. It's going to take a lot of work, but it's the absolute best way for you to learn and stand out from the crowd. The second way I think you can really stand out from the crowd these days, and it's a human thing, is networking. It's been the same in any industry. You want to get ahead, you need to know people, okay? It's the exact same in technology. I think the more that you network, the more that people know your name, the more that you generate let's say an aura around yourself of being that person who's really keen, really experienced. Oh, they built that cool little app, right? That's going to help your chances way more than if you just sit in your room, shotgun approach applying to every single job that comes up it's just cold applications. They don't work these days. And I know from firsthand experience, I've probably sent in the last, I don't know, let's say 12 months, before the job I landed out. And even while I'm at this job, you just see what's out there. I've sent probably 100 applications and you may hear back from 3-4 people or companies. And these are just straight up cold applications. And I'm just testing the market to see what it's like. And it's really quite tough out there to get your foot in the door when you're doing cold applications. And I've even received responses from companies saying, look, we've been overwhelmed by the number of people who've applied to this position. We've had hundreds of applications. We'll let you know if you get to the next steps. Your chances are very, very low when you face that kind of competition. And chances are the kind of competition that you're facing also has more experience than you because of the industry right now and the ton of layoffs. So you need to network, I think. And you need to have those warm connections. I've had very good success landing interviews and even jobs by connecting with people that I know. People who either run companies and have hired me directly, or people who have been hired by a company who I've worked with in a past company who can vouch for me and they give a referral. These are the best ways to get in. And now, yes, I'm saying that I've worked, you need to have experience to generate some of these connections. But you know what? The first 2 jobs I got, I managed to get connections through LinkedIn, just networking with people and engaging in real conversations around stuff I was interested in, Ruby on Rails, technology. And I think there's no replacement for networking. And lastly, I think the strategy should change a little bit in the way you approach jobs. So you're going to build a cool application, you're going to network, but also really keep an eye on these internships. It's not going to be a guarantee for everyone, and internships are very hard to get when you're not going through school. But my first job was an internship from a Canadian company called FreshBooks, and they opened up their internship program to people who weren't necessarily coming from an educational institution or enrolled in a program even. I just taught myself coding through the Odin project. I applied to this internship program, and I had that project that I was really passionate about, the dog adoption project that I could talk about in the interview, and exude so much passion and confidence on that project that was my first job. And then the rest is history. That job led to other jobs in the future. So I would say keep an eye on these companies. They are hard to find, but do your search, do your networking, ask around, and they are around. For example, FreshBooks was doing that. I know Shopify also hires self-taught people. Airbnb has a program that's opening up this summer to hire self-taught people. They are out there. Maybe keyword searches on internships will help you at least develop something you can create a shortlist from. So I would do these things. I would build projects, I would network, and I would look at possibly getting internships. You know, unless there's something local around you as well where you can network and get your first job through them. So much to say is I think it's still possible to learn to code and get a job right now, but it's not easy. And it hasn't been easy for the past couple of years. So you really got to ask yourself, do I have the grit and determination? And am I going to implement a strategy that's going to set me apart and get my name in front of people with warm kind of introductions? I think they are the secret to success right now. And this whole AI thing, I'm going to end on this note. It's not replacing developers right now. It's been completely overhyped, overblown. It's great to help you learn. I enjoy using it when, in certain cases. Other times, I just don't even bother because it's a waste of my time. It's good, but it's not replacing anybody. We still need developers for the next 5, maybe more, 10 years, who knows? Until they really develop something that is like AGI, which we haven't got. These are just LLMs that predict text. They are not replacing developers because predicting text does not handle nuance and new information from multiple sources coming in very well. So, I wouldn't worry about the AI piece. Anyway, get outside. It's amazing out here. Hopefully you can do the same and have a good one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Love to hear from you. Cheers.